Deductible Opinions.
Hello again, and welcome to the Deductible Opinions podcast. Each episode, we, your film accountants, watch a film and tell you whether it is or isn't worth your time to watch while we hunt for the golden egg. Can we find the movie that proves that cinema is art? And if cinema is art, is that a tax-deductible asset? Joining me as always is the assumedly still healthy Jordan.
Yeah, I'm here, man. I'm doing okay.
And producer extraordinaire, Zach.
Hello. One day we'll find the golden egg that is cinema.
I don't know, man.
And the man behind this voice speaking right now, Nick, me. Hey, guys.
What's going on, bro?
Yo.
Welcome back. Another episode. Alien.
Huge.
Ridley
Big
Scott.
movie.
Huge episode.
Finally. This one was my pick.
It's a good
Jeez.
pick, man.
It was a good pick. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're healthy, Jordan.
Thanks, dude.
You're healthy as well, Zach?
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Sure.
I'm alive, we'll see.
It's all
You're
we can
alive?
ask.
One of us has to be ill on this pod, I feel like, so maybe it's me this week, who knows?
Oh, there you go. I'm feeling got a little tickle in the throat as well,
Oh no.
Boys, Alien. The Alien franchise. The next
What a
big
franchise.
thing. We've got Alien Romulus coming out, or it may have
Imminent.
already been released by the time this episode drops out soon. We've got an Alien TV show in the works called Alien Earth.
Yes.
They're making a comic.
Finish the fight.
A comic.
I mean,
Is
they've
it
made
a
alien
comic?
comics. They've made so many alien comics.
They're making more comics.
Yes.
all
they'll
happening.
never Stop.
All from Ridley Scott's original dream. Is Disney planning to milk Alien like a dude on Blacked? That's the question. How much Alien content are we going to get?
I mean, if it's anything like Marvel, mate,
Bucket loads.
100%.
Bucket loads. Well, fellas, without further ado, let's get straight into it this week. Jordan, have you got an Alien summary for us?
I have a summary. Whether or not it's good, we'll find out.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. All right, here we go. Alien is a movie released in 1979 by famed pro-feminist director Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott explores the never-before-explored concept that women in position of powers are statistically more likely to prevent workplace disasters than their male counterparts. The workplace, the spacecraft Nostromo, a mining ship returning to Earth, which has had its journey interrupted halfway home to respond to a signal being transmitted from a remote planet. The disaster in question, a crew member catches an STD on the remote planet. It is brought on board the ship, and there is nowhere near enough protection to stop this thing spreading. This movie could have ended in 35 minutes if Ripley were able to keep the alien locked outside. However, the patriarchy strikes again, and our hero Ripley must spend the next 70 minutes correcting the mistakes of her male counterparts. Ripley's first name is Ellen. That is my summary.
That was beautiful.
It's not bad.
Beautiful,
Right?
man. Nice
That
work.
was a beautiful, beautiful summary.
There were some more risque edits, but we left
Yep.
those out.
You cut,
You may
you
have
cut
heard.
some of
That
this
was
in?
the least risque edit.
That was.
Oh my god.
There were some that you were workshopping. I'm glad that you removed some of those. Some of them were a bit rough.
Yeah. We got there in the end.
Guys, what's your experience with Alien? I'm assuming this is not the first time you've watched it.
Absolutely not. I can't tell you the first time I watched it, but I
Was it-
swear I've watched it 10 plus times. I own the 4K Ultra. I've seen both variants, the director's cut and the other. So I'm very familiar with this movie.
Yeah, I also I grew up watching all the Alien movies. Like I feel like I saw this when I was like 13 or 14 and was just like instantly in love with the franchise. Like it's an absolute classic.
Interesting. Now, I came to Alien late. It's one of those films, and one of the reasons I like movies so much that I didn't get to experience till I was older. I never watched it as a kid because I didn't like scary movies. I was a Predator guy. I used to love Predator, which is more of a kind of an action thriller. And so I was too scared to watch Alien, never watched it, thought I wouldn't like it. And then when I watched it when I was probably like in my 20s, I was like, holy crap. It was like when I
You're
watched
missing out.
RoboCop and Speed for the first time, where I'm just like, this is just an awesome film. I can't believe I didn't see this when I was a kid.
Mm.
I had a similar experience with RoboCop. I hadn't watched that till very later in life. Yeah, so I get where you're coming from, man.
Incredible potential future episode.
Possibly.
Aliens. The first thing I think about when I think of aliens are the sets. The sets are insane. Absolutely incredible sets.
It's like the blueprint for all sci-fi after 1979. You know, like they're awesome. They feel grungy. They feel alive. It's just like a fantastic world that they've built for this movie.
Yeah. Well, at the start of the film, you've got you start the film and we're going through the whole ship, and it's very silent, and they're just kind of no one's there. The ship is basically not alive, dead. And that set that they built all interconnected. So
Oh, really?
the ship was built so that when they had to go from room to room, the actors literally moved from room to room because it was a big interconnected set. Now, it wasn't a spaceship, like it didn't have a roof, but some of the sets did. They weren't actually in space,
Okay. All right.
but it was a gigantic set that they could walk between. And not only is that impressive from a set perspective, but the big miniatures that they had, like you've got the Nostromo and the whatever the thing it's pulling behind it, because it's a tugging ship, were both minis, but the minis were gigantic.
Very impressive.
How big do you guys reckon the minis were?
Look, table tennis table size.
Table tennis table size. What do you think, Jordan?
I reckon you've gone too big, man.
I don't know, man.
Let's go. I don't know, man. Maybe they're the size of a car. I don't know. Maybe I'm going bigger.
11 feet tall. That's two of me's almost. Well, less, but that's two normal people. That's dead. They were gigantic miniatures, and
Huge.
To get the shots in space, what they would do is move the camera around the miniatures so that it looks like it's moving, because they couldn't move the miniature; it's too big. Just really, really cool. What did you think, Jordan? Do you have any thoughts about the film?
I love the film. The opening scene is interesting. Do you ever pay attention to the music they're playing?
No, what is it?
It seems very like fantasy-esque. There's a lot of flutes playing. It's very like playful, I guess, which is very funny considering what is to come in this movie. But funnily enough, is one of the first times I've kind of noticed it in this viewing. But yeah, very interesting opening music.
I love the score for this film. Like, it's sparse, but it's so good. It's really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
They kind of play that little beat when the stasis pods open, like this little kind of like old school 70s 80s music cue. I remember noticing that on my last watch. It's really interesting. So yeah, how about you, Zach? Do you have any thoughts of the film?
I mean, like, obviously, such an iconic and influential movie. Like, going back, like, it might seem kind of like you've seen it all before. Like, if you were a young person going back to watch this movie, but this is like the movie that started space horror. Like, it's such a classic.
Yeah, definitely. So we have that scene at the start there where obviously they're going through the empty ship and they're playing the music, which is, a little bit different, a little unusual, not really a horror theme yet. And then you get to the crew, and the crew wake up and they're all having breakfast together. And it's probably one of the things that really makes the film stand out is how realistic the ship seems. Like, they seem like they could be people or like older than us or our age that are just working in space, right? They're not all like weird, uptight sci-fi people, The engineers are complaining about money. They want more money. They want their bonuses. Parker, who's the main engineer, says, "Oh, can I finish my coffee first? It's the only good thing that we have on the ship." Like, that's what I think makes the film work, is just how realistic it seems. It seems like this could be a place of work. It's almost like camping as well, the way they're having their little breakfast cereal around the table before they get the SOS signal.
Well, it's like they do it very well because they put you into the future, or they show you that this is not like the first time humans are in space. There's nothing special about being many light years from Earth.
Mm.
Like they're just working on a ship and they hate their jobs. Yeah, they do it very well.
I feel like the movie is in no rush to kind of get to the action. Like it takes its time setting the scene. It lets you kind of live in this world that they've created.
The crew have basically been woken up early from their stasis sleep, as I'm sure you know if you've seen the film, to go and answer what they think is an SOS call. And the three of them, Kane, Dallas, and Lambert, like land on the planet, and they go to find the source of the signal, and they see the giant engineer, and the giant engineer's got an alien has burst from its chest, which I didn't notice the first time I was watching. But there's a big dark hole, right? And Kane chooses to rappel down to the hole when there's like a room full of all thousands of alien eggs with a little mist cover over it. And all I could think was, there's no fucking way. There's no way I would go down that hole. There's no fucking way. I don't remember there being kind of that mist in any
Really?
in Aliens or Alien 3
the
or in
others.
Covenant or anything. And I think it adds to it. I always got the idea that the facehugger woke up because the mist was kind of shifted.
Yeah, like they broke that line.
Yeah. So Kane slips and the egg opens, and then he gets the facehugger through the astronaut helmet into his brain. And then we kind of get the next scene, probably the important scene of the film, when they come back and Ripley's in charge, who we don't really know yet that she's the main character at this point, because she hasn't even had much extra time compared to anyone else, and she's refusing to let them back in. She wants them to obey quarantine procedure,
As you should.
Yeah, but nobody ever obeys quarantine procedure
Not
in
in
an
the Alien universe. If you watch any other Alien movie, procedures are meaningless. Safety procedures, like there's no OH&S at all.
Absolutely meaningless. Would you guys let someone, if one of us was infected with some sort of alien, would you let us back on the ship?
What are you boys?
Yeah.
One of us?
Absolutely not.
No, you're dead.
You wouldn't?
Nah, I would maybe. I don't
You
know.
would? You're insane. You're on an alien planet. Nick is making out with an alien, and you're letting him on board. That's what you're telling me.
Nah, probably not. Sorry,
there we
bro.
go. There's no shot.
So, Ash opens the door. Ash ignores Ripley's command. I'm sure for no other reason other than he just wants to make sure that
wanted his mate back.
Caden's fine. And then we get the scene where they're in the med bay, and you kind of find out, and this I think is where the movie works, the horror of the film being that the facehugger's on his face, it's pumping air into Kane's mouth, keep him alive. They try to remove the facehugger, but it turns out it's got acid blood, and the acid blood melts through like 5 floors of the ship, so it's very, very acidic. The acid blood wasn't in the original script.
Oh, really?
Believe it
Which
or
is
not.
interesting to me.
Yeah. So the reason they added acid blood was that they wanted to think, well, why don't we just shoot this alien? Like, why isn't the crew just sees an alien? Why aren't we just blasting it? And they asked one of the concept designers, and basically he said, well, why don't we just say it has acid blood, and if you blow it up, it'll destroy the helm. And so they just added it in. And I think it's perfect. Like, it makes the movie. I think if the aliens didn't have acid blood, it's not as interesting.
It would change it for sure.
Yeah.
Well, there's that whole idea of like catching and releasing the alien because of the acid blood, and it just makes it more compelling.
And there was a thing as well, I think at the time he was saying on the director's commentary that a lot of aliens, whenever you're doing a sci-fi movie, the big monster is just immune to bullets. Like, you shoot at it and it just doesn't care. and he didn't want to do that again, right? He didn't want it to be immune to bullets. He wanted it to be realistic. Like you can kill it, but you wouldn't because it's a real organism and it's got these survival or whatever survival mechanics.
That's it, blood, baby.
A couple of things you notice on the rewatch, like Ash has all the monitor like looking into his body and stuff. Ash would have known that the thing had impregnated Kane, right?
Mm.
He'd
Oh,
be
yeah,
able
of
to
course.
see it.
Yeah.
He's hiding that information from them. And then a bit later on, when the face hugger has fallen off, the face hugger falls off his face, and they go into Ash gets Ripley and Dallas to go into the med bay, and they find the face hugger in the roof dead. Ash had seen it go, I suspect, into the roof and has invited them into the med bay, closed the door to potentially get infected. He didn't know it was going to die.
You think so? Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
that's interesting.
sus. Pretty sus. And then, during the dinner scene, or the whatever scene, the lunch scene, the chest burster scene, he positions himself at the directly across the table from Kane, so he can stare at him the whole time. Which at first you might think because he's he's the science medical officer, but then knowing later on that he's actually the old android, all these clever little script pieces that make a lot of sense.
It's very good writing. Yeah, I'm very impressed every time I watch it. It's funny because I can't recall my first watch, so I obviously wouldn't. I highly doubt I would have picked up on those cues, but yeah, it blew my goddamn mind when he was an android.
Oh yeah. What do you guys think of the chest burster scene? I think this is probably the scene this movie's most famous for.
For sure.
Is it scary?
Possibly one of the most iconic scenes in cinema.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Do you know, like, how the fuck did they do it? It's just a fake torso and they've just pumped this alien out, have they?
For sure.
Because he was laying on the table. Yeah, okay.
They had. I've got a segment here that I want to do as well called rumor control, and so it's the alien, the little face hugger alien. Yeah. Oh no, well it's not a face hugger anymore. The little alien is a puppet. It's controlled by puppeteer under him, but. There was a rumor that went along, and there's quite a few rumors of this film that I was going to tell on the podcast, and then when I researched them, I found out they're bullshit, and people had made them up. The first rumor is that the crew, I don't know if you guys have heard this, didn't know that an alien was going to burst out of John Hurt's chest, and because of that, that's why they're also freaked out, and why their reactions were also realistic.
I found that hard to believe.
Yeah, so that's not true, right? The crew did know that an alien was going to burst out of the chest. They all had access to the script.
Yeah.
But what they didn't know was there was going to be a blood squib. And if you watch the scene, they get covered in blood, and that's why they're freaking out.
Okay.
As good as the scene is, it looks so goofy when the little alien runs away across the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't aged particularly well at times, but I still think like the cuts to like the viscera and the gore as it kind of explodes out still really works for me. Like it's still works, even though it is a bit goofy in a modern context.
Yeah.
Yeah, the actual bursting from the chest is, I think, pretty well done, especially for the time.
For sure.
And I would say that's all John Hurt in the way that he's acting with his body, and I think he does a really good job. Did you guys know that John Hurt wasn't going to get the role initially?
Oh, really?
I did not know this.
So he was the first choice for the role, but he was busy. He was contracted to do a film in South Africa, and so they hired another actor called John Fitch. I'm not familiar, but he became ill during shooting, like really, really sick, to the point that he didn't know what was going on, and he had to leave. He didn't realize that he had type 1 diabetes. Right?
What?
And so he had to quit. And then John Hurt's South African film fell through. It didn't end up happening. And they were able to hire him again. So, and it went from him being too busy, getting another actor. The actor just kept getting more and more sick to the point that he couldn't act anymore because it wasn't a cold, it was diabetes, to his film getting cancelled, to him getting hired again.
Wow.
So,
That's
casting what ifs. It could have been someone very, very, very different.
He's not like so. From start of movie to alien exploding is like 40 minutes or maybe 45. It's not like this is a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, dude, it takes its time, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but once the alien appears, I feel like it's really we're going right.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
We're moving. So now there's an alien on the ship, and the crew is trying to hunt them down, right? And they determine that the alien must be in the air ducts, right? And so they get this plan, and they use their little sci-fi scanner, their little radar sci-fi scanner, and a flamethrower. Captain Dallas decides to try and flush the alien out towards the airlock, with the idea being that they'll, send him out to space. And they don't know that the once tiny alien is now gigantic, right? But the alien ambushes him and kills him. And then we get this scene of Parker saying they can't find him. No blood, no Dallas, nothing. Now, did you watch the director's cut? Which cut did you guys watch?
I watched the theatrical.
I do not know the difference between the two.
Okay. So Parker saying no blood, no Dallas, nothing is very interesting. In the regular cut, that doesn't really mean anything and it never comes up again. In the director's cut, we get a scene of Dallas later in the film attached to the wall, waiting to be impregnated again by the alien. So the reason Parker says there's no blood, no Dallas, nothing is because he's been kidnapped and not killed. Something I didn't notice until this watch, because I was just paying a little bit more attention. You couldn't pay me all the money in the goddamn world to get into that air duct. No,
no way.
Freaking way. Are you kidding me? I don't care if the alien's small. It just came out of someone's fucking chest. And you want to go in a tiny dark air duct by yourself?
Hard pass.
And that's why you would never be captain.
Oh, I don't want to be
that is why
captain.
You would never hold a position of rank.
What do we think about? Wait, hey, whoa.
Okay, maybe, okay, I take it back. Man.
I think the point stands.
You guys would go in the air duct?
If I was captain, 100%, dude.
I like how all these goddamn backseat drivers with the radar being like, oh, he's getting close. Well, come help. Fucking useless.
Dude, they can't open up vents and just jump in there. They'll let the alien out, man.
That's a good
The
point.
whole idea is one man enters, one alien leaves.
I did feel like Lambert, is Lambert her name? She was giving like the worst directions possible.
So bad.
So bad.
I got some info on that, boys.
Oh.
Look at you. Played right into my trap card.
Oh, God.
So Lambert, Veronica Cartwright. She was originally cast as Ripley.
Oh, really?
Wow.
And she arrived on set thinking she was Ripley. But Scott decided to change her character to Lambert. And she wasn't happy with this. Because Lambert...
She seems pissed off the entire goddamn movie.
Yeah, Lambert is like a cowardly, terrified character. And she thought she was coming to play the lead, the brave Ripley, right? And it was apparently very awkward between her and Sigourney Weaver, because Weaver's come in and taken her role, because Weaver's obviously done a better, audition.
Yeah, wow.
Probably why she's acting that way.
Huh.
The more you know.
That would have been an awful movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you think? Who knows how she would have acted? Who knows how she would have acted?
Sigourney Weaver just does such a goddamn good job. I mean, I'd be surprised if she could do a better job. But again, like, what is she from? Is she from anything else?
Sigourney Weaver?
No. What's her name? Lambert.
Oh, I don't know, man. Probably. I'm not sure. The alien looks goofy here as well. It's the only thing that hasn't aged perfectly with the film, but it's not an issue, though. It's still really good. The sets of this film look better than films made today.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The alien looks goofy. They shot around it as best they could, but they couldn't always shoot around it. We also get, and I didn't mention it in the quick little recap I did, is they're hunting for the alien and they think they found it, and it's the cat. And this goddamn cat keeps reoccurring. I'm a dog person. Okay? I'm a dog person.
Mm-hmm.
Leave the fucking cat. Leave it. Honestly.
They need the cat. The alien is afraid of the cat.
Is it?
Yeah, it doesn't like the cat, man.
Oh. Is that in this movie?
Pretty sure.
Aliens? That sounds like a James Cameron thing, man. Nave, unobtainium
Maybe
type
I'm
thing.
misremembering.
Brett, the other engineer, goes off alone to look for the damn cat and immediately dies. What are you doing, Brett? There's an alien. Are you on board? Are you paying attention to what's happening on the ship right now?
They needed to catch the cat because it was setting off their stupid sensors. What were those? Do they say what those sensors were tracking anyway?
Well, they say that it was like micro air pressures, but I think that is also bullshit from Ash. Because,
right.
Yes, that is right. But why did he go alone? Like, read the room. There's an alien. There's an alien that's bursting through your again, I wouldn't go into that room. If Ripley was like, Nick, go get the cat, I'd say, Ripley, go fuck yourself. I'm not going and getting the cat. No way. Do you know we're in a horror movie, Ripley? Okay?
Well, that's it. But like, it is like this movie is just a very smart, grounded take on like the slasher genre, but in a much more grounded sense because an alien feels more realistic than like, I don't know, Jason Voorhees, you know?
Do you like the alien design, Zach?
Oh, love it. It's huge. It's iconic. H.R. Geiger, my boy.
How much of the film do you think is because of how well the alien is designed?
Well, look, I mean, the alien itself, as you said, they shoot around it like it's barely in the movie, but it's certainly iconic.
I mean, in '79, people would have lost their goddamn shit.
Yeah.
So Dan O'Bannon, who wrote the screenplay and also worked with John Carpenter on his first movie, Dark Star. They went to university together. I love John Carpenter, as you boys know. He was the one to find Geiger and his designs, who was working on the original Dune film at the time, the one that never got made. And they wanted a design, and they were flipping through the art book that he had. He's a typical artist. He just sketches things, right? And they found the xenomorph, and O'Bannon is like, yes, this is it. This is what we need for the movie. And the studio are like, no, there's no way. They were worried it was too disgusting and that the audiences wouldn't go to the cinema to see it. Because you think about all the other monsters that are out at the time, none of them like have dripping acid from there. Like, they're not that gross. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not like, they're scary, but they're not gross. And the xenomorph was kind of gross. So they wouldn't do it, right? 11 months later, Ridley Scott gets hired and they show him the design. And Scott's like, it's that or I walk. And they got the design. So there you go. He knew.
He made the right call.
I also think he did. Okay. Well, after Dallas is either dead or been put onto an alien wall to be impregnated, depending on what cut you're watching, Ripley accesses Mother, which is the AI of the ship, and finds out the secret of the film, the kind of B plot that also wasn't in the original script. That was the studio forced them to add a B plot with the android, and Ridley Scott wanted to add this as well. Initially, there was no android, no company betrayal. But she talks to Mother, and she finds out that the company has ordered Ash, who is not a real person, is an android, to return with the alien for study. And every other factor can be disregarded, and the crew's life is completely expendable. All right. She confronts Ash, and Ash immediately, like a man, gets super mad and tries to kill her by stuffing a magazine down her throat until she's saved by Parker, who knocks off his head and reveals that he's an android, that he's not alive.
Shock horror.
I liked Ash. It shocked me when I was a kid. I was like, what? Oh my God, I had no idea that he wasn't a person. He's obviously set up to be kind of an antagonist, right? He and Ripley are at each other's throat all the time. But I don't know, it blew my mind. And they've never done that again, the evil android. Well, no, I suppose they have kind of done it, but
they've done it again.
No, Ridley Scott loves androids, dude. He is very uncomfortably into androids in a lot of his content.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Well, what's interesting is you watch, I think, Prometheus and Alien Covenant. Both of them have androids, but the crew know the androids on board.
Yes.
So, and those take place theoretically before this movie, and not very long before. Like, I think, Do you know the time frame of the franchise? Like I think like I want to say it's like 20 years. In like 21, 22, this movie is set. And I think maybe like 5 or 10 years before that was, Prometheus and then Covenant. So what the hell changed? Or I mean, I guess the idea was he was on a secret mission to get this alien, but yeah.
They just wanted Michael Fassbender so bad,
They did.
and he refused to be anything but an alien. They're like, fine, we'll rewrite the script for you. Okay. What did you guys think of Ash's fake head? Do you think it looked a little goofy?
I mean, it looks a little rough in 2024, doesn't it? There's that one cut where it goes from being like a mannequin to like him with his head through a hole in the table.
Yeah.
So they only had enough budget for one head, and they left it in the kiln. Is that what it's called? Kiln? Too long.
Not the kiln.
And it overcooked, and that's why it had that goofy smile and was all messed up.
Huh.
But they couldn't fix it. They just did not have any money left, and they just had to use it. That's just the best they could. So they tried to use it as little as possible. And then famously during the scene, you've probably heard this before, Ash really struggled doing that scene because he was either lactose intolerant or the milk spoiled in between shots, and he got really, really sick because he has milk in his mouth while he's talking during the
Is that
scene.
what they used?
Yeah, they just used milk, man.
Wow. I thought that was cornstarch and water.
No,
because it kept drying, like it dried all over his face. It looks that's disgusting that they made him do that with milk.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Another thing I picked up from the commentary was Sigourney Weaver was talking about how Ridley Scott was telling him what she's going to do in the scene. She goes, "Okay, so Ash is going to pick up this sex magazine, right? And he's going to stick it up your hooter."
What?
and like Sigourney Weaver doesn't understand Cockney, and she's like, my what? My hooter?" And hooter apparently means mouth. And so when the scene happened, she was pretty relieved, as you would be.
What is that? What language? What is it? British?
It's Cockney, like apparently.
Cockney slang.
Wow.
Because he's Cockney. He's a Cockney boy. Guys, whose naked ladies were those on the wall? Whose bunk do you think it was that Ash was killing Ripley in?
Ooh.
One of the engineers, maybe?
Yeah, like surely it's Brett or what's his name? Parker.
Yeah, it could be. Maybe that's why Parker attacked Ash. It wasn't about Ripley. It's because he was
just get the hell out of me.
Get off my stuff, porno man. Mag, bro.
Yeah.
Could be. Oh, there you go. Ash says that the alien is the perfect organism, right? Doesn't even have thumbs, Ash. Okay, I don't want to be I don't want to be an evolutionist or whatever, but it doesn't even have thumbs. It can't use tools. A perfect organism. What would you know, you fucking machine? And then Ash says some really messed up stuff to Ripley. Not nice. Not nice. I didn't write it down, but he's like, look, I don't want to, I don't like your chances, don't like your odds.
He's just talking that shit about the human race, isn't he?
That's he's being a bit rude. Just a little rude. Anyway, Ripley decides enough is enough. Let's just blow up the ship. They couldn't blow up the ship before because the escape shuttle couldn't support them because it could only support 4 people, which seems like an OH&S thing, but whatever.
Yeah, there's more than 4 people on that boat.
Yeah. So Ripley goes off to activate the self-destruct and sends Lambert and Parker to go get supplies as loudly as humanly fucking possible. Could they make any more noise? Did they forget there was an alien on board? Every time I watch this film, I'm like, Lambert, why are you making so much noise? Oh my God. There is a 10-foot tall xenomorph on the ship. You be as quiet as possible.
And then like when she dies, like, I know she's like having a panic attack or whatever, but like you could run, you could just not stand there and scream.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, she stands there and screams, and so Parker can't shoot the alien with his flamethrower because she's in the way, and the alien finds and murders them both. And now Ripley, who's alone on the ship, who's activated the self-destruct tries to go back to the escape pod, but oh no, the alien's there. That's a nightmare day at work, guys. You ever have
She's
one of
having a
those
bad
days
day.
at work?
She's having a bad day.
She's having a real bad day at work, man.
And it goes from bad to worse. She goes back to turn the self-destruct off. It doesn't turn off. It's like, oh my God.
Everything's
This is
broken.
the worst day ever. I thought the self-destruct was pretty cool. They had the big, like, it had like, I don't know, like 200 different keys and colors that you could press to activate it. She then goes back the exact same way, and there's no alien there anymore. And she makes it to the escape shuttle with the cat. God, she's lucky the alien moved.
Right?
Mhm.
Right, yeah. So much for the perfect organism.
How much time actually passed in the regular cut
Well,
during the 10-minute window?
Ridley Scott is, a man of integrity. He's a honest filmmaker. 10 minutes.
You think 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Jordan? 10
Wait,
minutes.
is this from when she goes to try and shut off the...
Yeah. So no. So when she starts the self-destruct, it says the ship will self-destruct in 10 minutes.
Oh,
How much
okay.
actual time in real life did it take for the ship to explode?
I'm going to go under, man. Let's do 7.
Oh my God. It was 7 minutes on the
Oh my
dot.
God.
Look at me go.
7:00. I mean,
Damn.
roughly. I mean, I was using my phone's clock. I don't know if that's not synced to like the
Yeah.
time server or whatever, but close enough. I thought the ship exploding looked pretty bad. Probably the weakest visual of the entire film.
Yeah, but it is 1979,
Did they blow up the miniature? Oh, I'm assuming they fucking just strapped...
No, they did like some weird like computer effect or some sort of
Yeah,
effect.
it's like a flare.
Oh, I do remember
Like a
now.
real 70s style
Yep.
lens flare kind of situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit.
They should have just blown up the miniature, dude.
Should have.
Oh, well. Too late now.
So then Ripley's like, well, it's all done now. It was a bad day, but I'm on the ship. I'm going to enter the stasis pod. And she strips down to reveal some truly insane 70s underwear. Like, my God, we're not thinking about comfort in space, apparently. And not as shocking as that is that the alien is still on the ship with her. Right. The underwear, you're still kind of reeling from the shock of the underwear when the alien is revealed. But she manages to trick the alien into attacking her, and she opens the airlock and she shoots it with a grappling hook and blasts it out into space, kind of saving the day. What did you guys think about Ripley's underwear? At the end of the movie, I guess. But what did you think?
I mean, she is on a mining ship, bro. She's not trying to impress anyone.
So I have a few points about the underwear.
Yeah, hit me.
So first of all, Sigourney Weaver actually was fighting for her to wear like dirty underwear, sweaty underwear, because she's like, well, I would have been running around and stuff.
Yeah,
it would be dirty.
Pants, yeah.
Initially, they wanted to be naked, and the idea is that you feel more vulnerable because you're naked. I don't know why she would be naked but anyway, I don't even know why she took her clothes. Oh, she took her clothes off because
she's about to get in the cryopod,
bro. You don't want to be dressed,
But the studio said no to nudity. No, we want an R, not an X. So, or whatever the American things are. No to nudity. And so then Sigourney Weaver put on the tiniest underwear possible, right? There is a rumor that I'm sure you boys have heard that I was going to tell here. And we're back on rumor control, right? And the rumor is that Ridley Scott said during an audio commentary that Sigourney refused to shave, so we had to airbush the footage. It took weeks. We had to airbrush out her pubic hair, right? This has been around. This is something that has been around the internet for years and years and years.
Yeah.
I've heard other podcasts say this. I've heard videos say this. And I was going to report on this because I thought it was real. I looked into it. Okay.
Yeah.
I bought the Blu-ray, not 4K.
Okay.
The Blu-ray that has the director's commentary on it. And I listened to the director's commentary because I found a Reddit thread and people are umming and ahhing and saying, oh, I can't find it. Oh, I don't know. And some people are saying it is true. Some people are saying it's not. They're saying it's on this director's commentary. I listened to the director's commentary. And unless they've cut it from the Blu-ray and it's only on the DVD, I wasn't willing to get the DVD as well. Complete nonsense. Ridley Scott
Interesting.
never said that. So this is some TikTok nonsense, man. So there you go.
Why did no one go direct to the source and ask Sigourney?
Let's get her on, man.
Let's get her on the pod.
Send her a
Let's
tweet.
settle this once and for all.
Sigourney, what's the deal with the underwear? I mean, sorry. Did Ridley Scott? Did you want to wait? What was it? Why is the underwear so small, Sigourney? What's the question? What am I
There's
asking?
no way you're airbrushing like pubic hair out in
No way.
1979. There's just no way.
Yeah.
It's an insane rumor.
That's a ridiculous rumor.
Well, there you go. There you go. Do you guys have anything to say about the ending?
No.
No.
Nothing
I mean,
to say,
look,
man. Look, she saved herself. Good on her,
She's a
man.
hero.
I do find every time I see it now in recent times, I always find the alien hidden in like all the jumble of cables to be goofy. And I think it's just because at that point, it's so clearly just a man in a rubber suit.
The alien is the weakest part of the film. Even when she touches it and it kind of wakes up and reaches for her and then does nothing.
Yeah.
Doesn't get like, is it meant to be injured or scared or something from the explosion? Like it's awkward.
Why does this alien get on the escape pod and then immediately just go to sleep? For the last 30 minutes, it's just been slaughtering everyone.
It's
and then
weird.
now it's chill.
It is very
Like,
weird.
we're cool now. Yeah, that's a weak point.
But you know, you give it a pass. This is a film 1979, the same as Star Wars: A New Hope, right? This looks better than Star Wars: A New Hope. It looks more realistic. Star Wars is obviously one of the top tier films as far as that sort of stuff would be concerned. This film looks incredible. Was the alien a little bit rough? Yes. It was a crappy plastic suit. You know, it looks dodgy. They did the best that they could do. So I'll give them a pass. Fellas, I got some trivia.
Yes.
I got a little. Well, I got a question, not trivia. A question. Sorry.
Oh.
Fellas, which actor from Alien has won an Oscar in their career? Is it A, Sigourney Weaver, Ripley? Is it B, Sir Ian Holm, Ash? C, John Hurt, Kane? Or D, Harry Dean Stanton, Brett? So either Sigourney Weaver, either Ripley, Ash, Kane, or Brett.
I'll go. I'm gonna guess Brett, man.
Yep, Harry Dean Stanton. That's a good guess. He's
Put me down
definitely
for
one
John.
of the more famous.
Put me down
Sorry,
for John Hurt.
John Hurt. That's a
Yeah.
good guess. We're locking him in.
It's probably Sigourney.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Oh, are we locked?
We're locked. Lock
I'm
in
locked.
John Hurt. Lock
We're
it
locked.
in.
Not a single one of them. No one in
Oh,
Alien.
man.
Oh, come on, man.
No one in
hell outta here.
Alien
Come on
has
now.
won an Oscar. How is that? Do you know that in all of Ridley Scott's movies, and he has a lot of famous movies, he's only ever had one actor ever win an Oscar for his
Wow.
movies? Do you guys know what actor that is? Can you guess?
Nope.
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe. It is
Oh,
Russell
of course.
Crowe.
Of course. it is.
Gladiator. I guess he just doesn't have the secret sauce as far as the Academy is concerned. I have one more question, fellas. One more question. What item in this film could be tax deductible, do you think?
Mhm.
From
Milk?
wait, hang on. Are we in the universe?
Well,
Or
let
is
me
this-
give you my
Are we
example.
filming this?
Let me give you my example. So for
Alright,
me,
hit me.
right, I'm a bit of a model guy. I'm a bit of a Warhammer guy. For me,
Yep.
it's the sweet ass models, man. He got those 11-foot models, and he got to ride that off on the ATO, baby. Ridley Scott is a genius. He probably made the movie just for that. That's what I think.
I think he's big on the Warhammer when he's not making cinema.
You're telling me he didn't use those ships in his D&D sci-fi campaign?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, absolutely did.
Of course he did. That's all right, guys. If you don't have any ideas, I'm thrusting that upon you.
I mean, tiny underwear. Lock it in.
Dude, I mean, that's a bit early for that, man. They started selling underwear way later than that.
That is true. That is true.
She's a genius. She can tax deduct all her underwear and just claim that she did multiple shots. You know, smart. Very, very, very smart. Breakfast cereal, claim the breakfast cereal as well. They didn't eat the breakfast cereal. Some of it was sitting in the container, but you Ridley Scott took that home. That's tax deductible. He's
Porno mags, dude. He's got them at home. Probably still.
dude, the porno mags. That's a
Mhm.
good point.
Yep.
That's a good point. All right. Well, then, final thoughts, Zach, Alien, and a rating.
I mean, this movie is iconic. It's influential in so many ways. It looks amazing to this day. You know, sure, the Alien looks a little bit goofy in 2024 at times, but for me, a solid, rock solid 4.5 stars.
Oh, Jordan,
That's up there.
that's a good rating. That's a strong rating for a masterpiece.
I mean, there are not many movies that I'm willing to watch 10 plus times, and this is one of them. And never disappointed anytime I do watch it. And that's something that, doesn't come around every day. So I rated this a 4 out of 5.
Yeah. Huge.
Yeah.
And that's basically a 4.5 for you because you don't rate films higher than a 5.
There is no movie that could ever be a 5. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we can get into that now or another time, but yeah, that's how I feel.
Well, I'll go on.
I will say Letterboxd need to fix their shit, man.
What do you mean?
Let me rate
4.75
with 0.1 increments. I don't even look. It would be nice to do 2 decimal point increments, but I'll take 1.
You want to do like 4.07?
Dude, there is a 4.99 out there.
Yeah.
There's no 5. It doesn't exist.
5 doesn't exist.
It's not real.
Well, a lot of fans disagree with you. They're giving the film
Dude,
a 5.
they can DM me. We'll have a chat.
I think that Alien is a goddamn classic. I love Alien. I think Alien's a really, really good film. It's just I kind of like to judge films as well. I do. An older film, especially if it's a special effects older film, I will rate higher than a newer special effects film. The fact that the film looks so good with all those practical effects in 1979, even talking about some of the things that we didn't mention, like they have the astronaut helmets, the 2 astronaut helmets at the start when the crew are asleep, and those are like, and then you see the computer in the helmet's visor, because they couldn't really do computer effects back then. So that's meant to be 2 computers communicating with each other to wake the crew up. All these things they did to make the movie feel alive, the giant miniature sets, the giant engineer alien that it's not even addressed in this film. Obviously, it's then ruined in later films, but in this film, it's just a bit of the background. It's I love Alien. I can't believe it took me so long to watch it. I think it's up there with one of the greatest films of all time. It's definitely one of the greatest sci-fi thrillers of all time. And that's a 4.5 stars.
Wow. That's not a 5 for you.
It's not a 5 because...
Is that because the 5 can't exist?
No, a 5 can and does. It does exist.
Yeah.
It's not a 5 because for me, it is not the perfect film. It's not a 5 is a film that I can rewatch. I can watch and then immediately rewatch again. I love Alien, but when I finish it, I don't want to immediately rewatch it again. Right? And this is what I think about films that are really good, at least from an enjoyment factor, is if you go to the cinema for a new release, right, and you see a movie, and after you've finished the movie, you want to watch that movie again, you want to be back in that world, then that is a classic. That's the perfect film. Alien, it's good. You get to the end, it's done. The underwear is shocking. You're shocked. And you need a breather. You need a break. So there you go. That's my 4.5. That's my thoughts on Alien. So there you go.
What a movie. Good choice, man. I really liked it. I really liked watching this for the 10th or 11th time.
I love Ridley Scott, and Ridley Scott gets a lot of crap. Like a lot of people,
Well, he's produced a lot of crap, so
he's made but he's made a lot of great
he
films.
has. You know, I'll give him that.
You know, I don't always think that not every filmmaker is Christopher Nolan. Not everybody is Tarantino. Some filmmakers make good films. Some filmmakers make bad films. And I
He's
would
got
also
more hits than
say-
misses. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he has more hits
He
than
has
misses.
more hits than misses.
And many of the greatest directors of all time have bad films and good films.
Yeah.
You know, bloody Steven Spielberg has some stinkers. You know, George Lucas has a bunch of stinkers.
Mm.
It's very rare to get an actor who's working full time that has no stinkers. When you have your Tarantino and your Nolan, it's because they're very picky with what they do. So, you know, I give him a break. Gladiator, The Martian, Blade Runner,
Love The Martian.
Alien, you know, The Last Duel.
What do you think of Napoleon, dude? Hit me with that.
We don't need to mention Napoleon.
Okay, that's right. I apologize for that. Sorry.
You know, The Duelists. I love The Duelists. You know, so we don't need to worry about his other films that aren't as good. The Scott brothers are awesome. Tony Scott, Ridley Scott made some fantastic films. So, you know, we're lucky to have them. So next time you guys are making your little TikToks and you're going to make fun of Ridley Scott, oh, he made fun of me because I like to watch films on my phone. Well, maybe you deserve to be made fun of. You know, that's all I got to say about that. So
You tell him, man.
retweet this on TikTok if you see a clip of this podcast. Guys, what are we gonna do next episode? What's the
Do
plan?
we have anything lined up?
Yeah, we got something lined up.
Is someone picking? Or was I supposed to pick? Or is that we're dropping that for now?
I'm just gonna reveal. So next episode, we're gonna do Trap.
Huge.
We're doing Trap. M. Night Shyamalan.
He's back, baby.
The
we
man,
covered-
the legend.
We covered your pick, Knock at a Cabin.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It wasn't a 5-star, but it was up there. You know, it was it was 1 or 2 stars. I think I gave it 2. And this is his next classic film. We're going to see it next week. Ratings are all over the place. They're all over the place, right? People can't decide, do they love it, do they hate it? All they can decide is that, like, it does seem like M. Night has he's delivered something. There will be a film there when we get there next
He's
week.
produced a movie and it has been released. That is what we know.
And we're going to watch it. We're going to report on it for you guys. So thanks for listening, guys. If you like the podcast, please, you know, give us a rating, comment, share us with your friends, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next episode, hopefully.